live for a few moments. Welcome to the channel and thank you for making time. We're going to be talking about overcoming narcissists, and overcoming narcissistic abuse. Welcome, and thanks for joining. The subject is overcoming narcissists and overcoming narcissistic abuse. That is the focus of what we're going to be talking about today. And you may be thinking, why does this term du jour, narcissism, seem to be rife in the world these days? And it's very simple. Hi, welcome, Fire Phoenix 444, Marika, Kevin, a few others. So, what has been your experience with narcissistic abuse? How has it manifested in your life? And what is it like for you to experience narcissistic abuse? Why are you here today connected to this channel where we're talking about narcissistic abuse and overcoming narcissistic abuse? It's because narcissistic abuse has become more apparent in our lived experience since March 5th, 2020. And you may ask, why since March 5th, 2020? Well, that's where the shutdown began around us. And you're saying you're surrounded by it. Say more. What do you mean you're surrounded by it? Well, what exactly is happening in your experience, Fire Phoenix 444? What kinds of things are going around you that show that narcissistic abuse is happening in your life? So you realize that because we were all in close proximity with each other and with ourselves, things that were hidden began to be revealed. Whatever was hidden was revealed. And narcissistic abuse has been around forever. Hello. But now it is just beginning to become more obvious to the mainstream. So I'm curious, Fire Felix, you can go for it. What do you want to say about narcissistic abuse? Let's hear from you. What has been your experience with narcissistic abuse? How do you feel about narcissism? You've been experiencing this since your childhood. It's the case for most of us. Most of us began to have these experiences from when we were young because we were targeted from the very beginning when we volunteered to come to this plane as light bringers. And the abuse that has happened to us is simply an opportunity to remember why we came here. It's almost like we set up these breadcrumbs along our way so that at the time when darkness seems to be more prevalent, we will be waking up at the right time. And effectively, you realize that everything you've experienced in your narcissistic journey is designed to make you stronger. So I'm gone, let it shine. It's interesting how an NP will hijack your normal reaction to abuse by playing. Exactly right. Because what the narcissist does is project effectively. The narcissist, anytime a narcissist blames you for something, what they're actually doing is confessing. So any projection is a confession. And they do this really, really well because it's a Jedi trick to make you think you are them and they are you. And effectively, what they want to do is swap energies and become you, and you become them. And so it's the story of how these narcissists work, right? This is what they do. This is how they do it, and this is why they do it. So if you want to join the conversation, just hop in and let's have a chat about what's on your mind with regards to your experiences with narcissistic abuse. And you're right, they're experts at this. They really are experts at ensuring that they are never found out, right? And you say it happened to you by your mother. I'm really sorry to hear that, because typically narcissism comes from people we've given love to. And the last person you expect to abuse you is somebody you love. But the truth about love when it comes to a narcissist is that the narcissist is, I think you should be able to do that, Fire Felix. The narcissist cannot give love because they don't have love. You see? Because they don't love themselves. The narcissist lives in a place of permanent self-loathing and self-hatred. And so they attack you because they want you to join them there. And then there's a question. This is kind of strange, but do you think NPD people are into witchcraft? Well, let me put it this way. So witchcraft is not just some old person over a cauldron saying, die, 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 or whatever they do. Witchcraft is negative thoughts projected to you. Witchcraft is using words as spells, the manipulation, the gaslighting. That is the witchcraft. Because when they say these things to you, suddenly you are affected mentally, and then you're affected emotionally. And then you have people who live their entire lives based on inputs that they got from a narcissist. That is the witchcraft. You see, that is, thank you, Becca. I really appreciate it. You are incredible. Thank you for the heart. This is the witchcraft. This is the witchcraft. So you realize that your job is to realize that you don't want to descend to the low vibration that the narcissist lives in, because this is what the narcissist does. And the narcissist wants you to join them in hell. That's what they want. Hello, Sugar Shack. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the heart. So the way they get you is to reduce your vibration so you can join them there. Alita, can you tell me how to protect my child from the narcissist parent? He already gives her empty promises. See, the best way to protect your child from the narcissistic co-parent is to realize that typically with narcissism, and this varies from person to person, but the narcissist, there's no such thing as co-parenting. It's typically separate parenting. So your job becomes, can you create a safe, enabling, healthy environment for your child so that they can experience what it's like to be unconditionally loved? And that's the best mitigation factor you can have against a narcissistic parent. And also be sure to always be of high vibration and positivity, and never disparage the narcissistic parent, because that reduces you to your level. Exactly. Sugar Shack Girl, misery loves company. You said it so well. Fire Phoenix, I had to take accountability that I was suffering from the same behavior in most of my relationships. Exactly right. Because it is a program. And once the program is firmly fixed in your mind, you start to act it out in your lived experience. That's the witchcraft we're talking about. So programs in our minds are placed there by the words of someone who knows better than us. And then suddenly those programs start to run in our minds, and we think that's us. We begin to believe that's us. You see, so that's the story. So Oli Kim, welcome. Do you want to chime in and let us hear what's going on with you?
I've just joined. I barely kind of caught up on what you were talking about. Maybe if you can run me through.
So the question is, what's been your experience with narcissist and narcissistic abuse? How are you dealing with it? How have you dealt with it? Are you still in it? That's sort of what we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is quite common in African cultures, you know, and it's a conversation we're not ready to have as Africans. I think our parents' generation is very narcissistic.
Yes.
You know, it's their way or the highway.
Yep.
And there's no kind of common ground. And there's even theories to support their narcissism within the culture, whereby I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and they tell us that your mom is like she's like a foreigner, so to speak, to your father's family. So regardless of how she treats you, you've got to kind of submit. Regardless, you got to subjugate.
Yes.
And yeah, my mom is quite narcissistic. It's everything I experience in my life, be it good or bad.
Yes.
It's very much about her prayers. It's about her holiness. She's resilient in prayer, apparently, you know, and, you know, it's her prayers covering me. It's never about me.
Yeah.
It's never about she never like validates or acknowledges that I'm going through something. So Yeah, I think with the African culture, it's a conversation we're really not ready to have at the moment.
Well, I think you're very right, Only One Kim. And if I may add some hot sauce to what you just said. I mean, the question, Only One Kim was all the comments was that narcissistic abuse is prevalent in African cultures, in all cultures, but she's speaking about the African culture and gave some examples as to why it exists. And having grown up on the continent as well, originally from Ghana, here's what I would say. Most African countries, up until 1960, but Zimbabwe until 1980, were under colonial rule. So imagine if you were a 30-something-year-old man or woman who worked in the post office and reported to a 20-something-year-old from Nottingham who called you boy or girl. You were angry, so by the time you got home, you needed someone to work out that revenge on. So you notice that this notion of hurt people begins with trauma. Now, African cultures, as many of them, are not originally narcissistic, but there's an abusive cycle that began somewhere that is perpetrated across the line. And one example is the effects of colonialism on the psyche of the people. The other is an inability to actually recognize that we are worthy of mental health and emotional well-being because we've normalized suffering. Suffering has been normalized, almost like a badge of honor. And so narcissistic abuse falls strictly into that framework, and it's why it continues. And when you see it or you wake up, you become a target, or you're a target because you dare to see behind the veil. You dare to see the truth. And that is a threat to the status quo, which is why you get more projections of narcissistic abuse, which is tantamount to witchcraft, because anything that stops you from thinking for yourself, speaking for yourself, and feeling whole is witchcraft. And the way the witchcraft happens is through the negative thoughts and the lying, manipulation, and the gaslighting that are used to keep us in our place. So I want to encourage you to keep waking up and keep pushing, knowing that you are actually about to head onto the other side. And it's an opportunity to do more good and less damage. Does this help, Only One Kim?
Yes, absolutely. I've actually decided to kind of love her from a distance.
That's it.
And to kind of protect myself, to be more compassionate with myself.
Yes.
To actually redirect the empathy towards myself.
That's exactly it.
Because she thrives on my vulnerability. She thrives on my empathy because she knows how authentic I am.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that narcissists love the very authentic kind of love. You know, they really want to get, they really target that child who's so genuine, you know, who's upright, so to speak.
Exactly.
And I've actually just learned that no, I have to kind of distance myself very gradually, very gently, and just kind of communicate when it's necessary.
Exactly.
To an extent that is necessary. I don't have to bend myself backwards trying to accommodate and trying to be like a savior, so to speak. You know,
well
I want to
said.
save myself. That's
very,
what I realized.
Very well said.
I've taken a step back and I can feel her energy. She's kind of like really agitated. She can't deal with the fact that, you know, I've recognized that for myself.
Exactly. And I'll say here before we let you go, Only One Kim, is congratulations to you. What you have is first class energy. The energy from an empath is the same energy you have to pay premium price for. That's why people fly business class or first class. That's why people go to the Savoy or the Ritz-Carlton, so they can be treated like royalty. This is how empaths make other people feel. We don't realize the value of what we have, because what we have provides the narcissist what psychologists call narcissistic supply. Because recall, the narcissist is a deeply damaged, broken vessel that thrives and needs the energetic imprint of a high-quality empath, that purest kind of energy. So that's a symbiotic spiritual relationship between empaths and narcissists, where narcissists are high-ranking children of the dark, whereas empaths are high-ranking children of the light. Now, mind you, I'm not suggesting that being in the dark is on its own bad, because darkness is a precondition for light to exist. But this is exactly why it happens. And I really appreciate you chiming in, Only One Kim. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? I see there's a bunch of questions. I'll see if I can invite someone else to join. How do I go full contact from my family? I moved across the country, but I still reach out via text. Well, the question, Sandy, is why do you keep reaching out? It's because you are addicted to being loved. And until you become addicted to self-love rather than being loved by people who actually don't love you, you're going to continue to be connected to that narcissistic vibration. I'm gone, let it shine. What is an MPDC and an empath that we are not aware of? So usually the empath is the last person to discover that they are an empath. Everyone knows that you're an empath first, which is why they target you the way you did, hopefully with the goal of ensuring that you never realize your worth and never wake up. That's the whole point of this whole thing. And we overgive. You're right. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. Seeker of truth. My mother married 3 narcissists, tried to protect her, but got burned. Last one was also psychopath. Yes, you can't protect them. And this is how it happens and why it happens. See, the narcissist is addicted to chaos and trauma in a way that is similar to how you are addicted to peace of mind and joy. You can't understand it, you see. Cassie, exactly. Being observant triggers dishonest. Exactly right, which is why when you show up with a room or you're just being yourself, people you're not even aware of are in competition with you or want to take you down because there's something about your pure energy that triggers people. And that pure energy has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with the state of your pure heart. This is why it happens. It's a choice, Lorraine Island. Exactly right. Why narcissists get angry, won't put up with their mess. Yes, the reason why, Alina, they get angry is because of projection, because the reason why they target you is in targeting you, they're projecting. And in projecting, they get temporary relief from their own darkness, which is why they are dependent on this energetic symbiotic relationship with an empath. You see, this is exactly why they do it. I was a salesperson who could read folks, and narcissistic folks hated it. Yes, because you can see through them. That's why they hated it. And because you can see through exactly what they stand for and what they're about. And I have to tell you that this gift of being an empath or realizing you're an empath is the gift you get from enduring a long season of pain. You see, the narcissist is like a graveyard of empty souls and wants to empty life force from you and feed. Exactly, Tammy. That's because the empath is traumatized for sure. The narcissist is also. The difference between the narcissist and the empath is the empath, the lucky empath, the healed empath eventually heals, whereas the narcissist believes that the world is a really dark place to be made darker, right? And so that's why it happens. We're just two sides of the same coin. And so it's really about where you want to be, right? And you're right, Fire Phoenix, they have to have everything in balance. It's exactly correct, which is why they always generate chaos wherever they are. You see, it's something they do and always do. And that's just the way they roll. It's just their MO. And so when you realize this, you know that the narcissist cannot reach you unless you lower your vibration. And if you lower your vibration, that's when they get you. So the key is to always protect your energy. And how do you protect your energy? By being aware of the wiles of the narcissist, understanding that the narcissist is committed to constant gaslighting and manipulation in a way that will surprise you. And so don't take it for granted and assume that the narcissist is a normal person like you, because they are not, right? And Jonette, I've heard the narcissists are dark empaths. Is that true? I don't know if I'll call them empaths, but they are narcissists. And the narcissist also has predatory abilities to sense your wounds in the same way the empath can feel. The difference between the empath and the narcissist is the empath has highly active mirror neurons, which is what makes it possible to feel other people deeply, something the narcissist cannot do and really wants to get from the empath. What if you work with many MPD and BPD? Sean made, it means you're special, and this is part of your initiation. So the question is, why do these monitoring spirits keep following me? That's really the question. Why? Not so much why are they around me, but why Why is this a recurring theme? And if you look back into your childhood, the answers are there. Only one came to resonate with the broken vent. So well said. Exactly right. And Fire Phoenix, it's a cycle for them. No matter where they go, they will always cause trouble, problems, and chaos. That's what they do. They don't know anything else. Cookie, welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. They don't know anything else, which is why when you're in a narcissistic family, in a narcissistic relationship, there's always chaos. There's no peace of mind. There's always fear. You're tired. You're drained. And you're not even aware why this is happening because the narcissist is a real energy vampire. It's like they are sharks can sense blind in the water when they go, they don't go off there. Exactly, Tommy. They are sharks. They're predators. They really are. Bonzoy, the answers are all in childhood. So simply and wisely stated, but very difficult to understand. It's all about remembering. And you're right, the narcissists read people so well. They're really acute at reading people. And high praise wellness. It's very difficult when people pretend to be givers. That's the narcissists are experts at mirroring back to you exactly what you want to see. They're like CIA agents. The narcissist can sense your wounds and know exactly what you want, whether it's a family relationship or an intimate relationship, and they can become exactly what you want, what you desire from a soul level. That's how genius these narcissists are. Don't take them for granted. And it improves how genius you are as an empath because it takes a genius to trick a genius, if you follow what I'm trying to say. The last narcissist I ran into seemed like he was trying to protect me from himself, Jonette. Say more. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? How did that happen? They envy your authenticity and envy is destructive. Exactly right. Exactly right. Sean made everywhere I turn a narcissist here and there and everywhere. Yes, because you're a magnet for them. You're a magnet for them because these are opportunities for you to wake up and you may be either resisting it or you are getting close to freeing yourself. And so you find that the narcissists will keep showing up until you are destroyed or until you wake up. You wake up to the truth of who you are. That you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. This is proven in any academic text, any spiritual text. And Cassie, givers are magnets for narcissistic people. Yes, unhealed givers are magnets for narcissistic people. You're right. And let's see. The key is for empaths to use MPD energy to heal. Oh, this is exactly right. I would not be here if I hadn't gone through significant narcissistic abuse. I'm sitting here with you because I was initiated by all kinds of narcissists, including my parents, siblings, lovers, employers, bosses, friends, you name it. And I'm so grateful to all of them because I didn't know who I was. And without those experiences, I wouldn't have woken up to my purpose, which is to be here with you to shine light. And I imagine the same is true for a number of you, right? Jonette, he told me he knows what his mission is, and he said, I'm the West of the West. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Say more about that. And high praise wellness. Of course they have a purpose. High praise wellness. The purpose of the narcissist is to stop you. The purpose of the narcissist is to stop you. And in trying to stop you, they end up awakening a giant, a sleeping giant. So without the acute level of pain that you experience, you would not be here, right? You would not be here. Thank you so much for the gift. I really appreciate it. The awakening, really powerful. Really, thank you. You would not have woken up. So how do you block them from reading you? You see, you cannot block anybody from doing anything. But the way you become inaccessible to a narcissist is to tune into your high vibration. And what's high vibration? A heart of gratitude, a mind that is clear and peaceful, and so forth. The awakening, welcome. Thank you for joining. I don't know if you're on camera, but what are your thoughts? What's been your experience with narcissistic abuse and narcissists and so forth?
Yeah, it's, it's, um, it's, 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 I'm at a loss for words, honestly.
Wow.
Because if you have never gone through this and if you've never experienced it, you would be at a loss as well.
That's right.
Unfortunately, this is my life at the time, and I'm working on becoming a better, me, and trying to dodge it and get out of the line of fire. But with people who are on social media, such as yourself, to help shed light onto what it is that you're experiencing, it helps. It really does help. So I thank you and appreciate your literature and your you speaking and helping others. But it's something that is just it's unspeakable, honestly.
You said, and I'm so grateful for you too, because I am because you are, right? There is no testimony without an audience, and everyone is here because everyone emits and embodies love. And love is why we are here as spiritual beings having a human experience. But this love has been distorted by the realities of being in the hell realm. And the hell realm is what creates victims. So you realize the narcissist is simply a victim. When you become healed, you're no longer a victim. You're now a victor. You see, when you're in your heart, prior to March 5th, 2020, you were easily manipulatable, seen as a fool. But the pandemic shifted everything, that now being in the heart, people in the heart space are now rising to the top, because as it's been said in many ancient texts, the last will be first and the first will be last. And you look around you. Now with artificial intelligence, what is becoming more pronounced is divine intelligence, or some call it intuitive wisdom. And you don't get to this place without having been initiated through the pain of narcissists. Why do I say that? Because the pain of going through narcissists will turn anybody into a wicked or defeated person. It's only the empath who comes out wiser and more compassionate. Don't you see how amazing that is? That you don't become like the world, that we don't become like the world. We're not better than the world, but we don't become like it. And this is how we show that we have overcome the world. Because when you overcome yourself, there's no enemy without.
No, and you definitely have to put in the work. You have to put in the work in order to, defeat this.
That's
and
right.
It's hard. It's extremely hard.
Exactly. And I thank you so much for really blessing us with your voice. And I send you very much, lots of good energy. Keep shining your light and keep ascending in the space that you are, because your voice, I can even tell as I speak to you, is a healing voice. And it's a voice that can help people find light. And so just keep being you and keep healing, keep ascending the awakening of
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I see there's some more questions. Let's see if I can invite a couple of others to join. Thank you, Phi Phoenix. I really appreciate you. Yes, Bonzoid, setting strong boundaries. Jonette. He started telling the devil he was evil, he was doing it, and the entity with him. Oh, so you actually had an experience with a real life demon who started to confess who they were to you because they felt the spirit of your strength. That's exactly what happened to you. That's exactly what happened to you. See? So I'm grateful to learn that people pleasing is a form of manipulation. Exactly right. Does fasting help with clarity of mind? I'm going, yes, it does, because it's a purgative. See, when you restrain yourself from material things and for more spiritual things, ascension happens. And so, yes, fasting, whether it's for spiritual reasons or health reasons or other reasons, is shown. There's enough evidence to show that it can actually ascend you and lead you to higher states. It really does. Does this cause my chronic health disabilities? I'm not sure. Made me think of Jesus having a conversation with Satan in the wilderness. Yes, exactly it. Blessings to all who ascend in Phi Phoenix. So well said. Blessings to us all. And Evelyn, yay, us. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How do you work in this? Self-love is the first step. Lots of work on lonely. Of course, loneliness is a necessary part of the healing journey. It's often called, Joseph Campbell and others call it being in hermit mode. So why does hermit mode become important? It's because it's an opportunity for you to develop a relationship with your voice, with yourself. And when you are alone, it's also an opportunity for you to develop a deeper relationship with the the field, the universe. Because how can the field connect to you when you're distorted by noise around you? It cannot. And there's also an opportunity for you to heal. So you realize that hermit mode of being alone is not punishment. It's actually a necessary step in the ascension journey that happens to just about everyone who's on a true path of awakening. We're not talking religion, right? We're talking about spiritual awakening. This is what happens. You're exactly right. Let's see who else is here. Spirituality and materialism are antagonistic. Only one Kim. Oh, you've cracked the matrix. That's exactly it. Only one Kim. That's exactly. It's cruel what we went through. It's not only cruel navies. It's evil. And I like to call it what it is. And narcissistic abuse is evil because it is genius and intentional. Denise, what do you do when people tell you you need to change, but all they do is complain to you? They're projecting. It's a projection. Don't fall for the trick. It's a Jedi trick. That's all it is. What about not drinking alcohol or not eating meat? You're already on the path. I can see I'm going, let it shine. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. But alcohol leads to mindlessness, right? Fasting leads to mindfulness. Plant medicines can lead to mindfulness with the right guide. It all depends on where you are in the walk. I'm not aware, I know some alcoholic beverages like wine can said to be good for their heart, as one says. But alcohol overall doesn't have any real spiritual benefits in my view, but that's just one person's opinion. So you just find out what the science says and follow that. Chrissy, I'm getting mixed answers on whether to report a narcissist who drugged me and assaulted me. Well, anytime there's a legal dimension to what you've experienced, it's always important to follow the right path. So if there's a legal path to ensure that there's documentation, then follow it. Right? And just get advice, get legal advice, because being drugged and assault, and I'm sorry this has happened to you, Chrissy, is horrible. And you want to follow the right procedures, but get advice from a legal expert, from a lawyer. What if you are beneficiary but go no contact? Terrified she will forfeit this mother's malignant knock. Yeah. So narcissists would use money to control you. So the question is, and we all need money. You need money to live, and you need to be practical and sensible. But the greatest wealth I've begun to discover is the wealth within. Especially as an empath, when you wake up and heal, there's so many diamonds and wealth within. Remember, I mentioned a few minutes earlier that people have to go to the Burj Khalifa, go to Rolls Royce, go to Tiffany, go to the Savoy, go to the Ritz-Carlton to feel the way an empath makes them feel. In other words, the way an empath makes people feel is what you pay for when you get premium services. So the wealth is already within you. But it all depends on where you are. Do what's practical and sensible, but also realize that there's a wealth within you that cannot be touched. You see, that's what I think. A glass of wine has the same benefits as eating a large piece of chocolate cake with walnuts. Well, I don't know. You know, Cassie, tell us more. Tell us more. It's a deceitful, dangerous, deliberate, and it's deceiving and despicable. Fire Phoenix, that's exactly right. That's how they work. This is exactly what they do. And if you are not mindful, they will pull you down into their discomfort and their sadness, and then so you can be like them. I studied to be a substance abuse counselor. Oh, Cassie, so you can keep us honest on substance. Do you recommend that people use alcohol on a spiritual journey? What are your thoughts? Let's hear from you, Cassie. Laurel, I enjoy all your posts and I'm thrilled to see you live. You've helped me so much. Oh, Laurel, I thank you too. I am because you are. We are one. That's why the Rastas say one love, because there's only one. There are 8 billion stories, but there's only one. High praise wellness, strengthen your mind. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. One love always. Yes, Denise. Narcissistic behavior in your life is a wake up call from the universe. It's an initiation. Because how else would you realize the power within you if you had nowhere else to look but up? In other words, you come to a wake up call when you've exhausted all the options and you're down and out. And you say, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. That's when the divine kicks in and exposes to you why you've experienced what you've experienced. You were hidden in plain sight in these families, in these jobs, in these marriages, in these relationships, in these situationships. And you're now just beginning to realize who you are. Drinking is spiking dopamine. Dopamine is good, but if it spikes it, I don't know if that's good, Cassie. Denise, I'm constantly told I need to change and stop being negative. Again, it's a projection, right? When people are telling you that you need to stop being negative, is because they're negative. Only one Kim, Ubuntu. Ubuntu. The famous words of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, I am because you are. I am because we are. High praise wellness, no victim no more. It's the end. And that's how we shine our light so those who are on a different part of the light can be like us. Not like us, but can follow the example, right? This is really the story. You want to spike your dopamine naturally. Well said, Cassie. And I do that with breath work and meditation. Yeah. So that's how it works. And some people say plant medicine is fine, but this is the way it works. Seeker of truth. Love the Rasta message. It's a background in that, like a Rasta shaman. Seeker of truth. You're telling me I didn't say it. You said it. You sim it. Because Selassie I rule the planet. Let's get serious here. But that was not a joke. We embrace the shadow as much as the light balance. Exactly, only one Kim. Denise, how do we break free from this toxic cycle? They are everywhere. By freeing yourself. Because the moment you free yourself, you see them and you become more adept at navigating them. In fact, they become afraid of you, that spirit. You see. Yes, hazing at its finest to be with them. Exactly. It's hazing. It's an initiation. It's basically the universe trying to find out, can I really trust you? If I entrust you with the souls and spirits of people to help them, will you lie to the people? Will you manipulate people? Will you exploit people? And the only way the universe can confirm it is by putting you through things that are designed to destroy you or make you become like that shadow. And you deciding not to be like that, not to seek revenge, not to fight, not to hurt, not to manipulate, not to die, not to cause damage. When you become that person, then the universe knows, yes, that's my daughter, that's my son, that's my person. So I can entrust you with all these powers. Because if you knew who you were before you awakened as an empath, you'd be walking around like, ha, 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 ha. Do you know who I am? I'm an empath. I can read through you. But this journey, this responsibility is very necessary. And having a heart that is pure and gentle like a lamb, yet courageous like a lion is very key. Laurel, people of a dark side seeming to be, what do you mean? Say more, say more. So many teachers are MPD. I'm going to let it shine. You said it. I don't know. You said it. Shan Mei, they take you on an emotional roller coaster. Cognitive dissonance. That's the point of the cognitive dissonance. The point is to keep you unbalanced. And when you're unbalanced, you can't be clear. If you're not clear, you cannot tap in because your energy is finite. If your energy is filled with worry and fear, how can you connect to the spiritual gifts that you are? And that's why the narcissist keeps you on the defensive. See, this is exactly it. Maybe we'll have one more person join before we end. Having a heart can be so painful. Well, you're right, Cookie. It can be. But having a heart that doesn't experience pain is a heart that hasn't explored all its capabilities, because it's through pain that you develop deep compassion and deep love for people, including those who want to hurt you. Now, having love for people who want to hurt you does not mean you want to reconcile with them. It means that you are in a place where you are incapable of hate. Laurel, are more people who have a darker side more active recently? I don't know how else to phrase this. Well, say more. What do you mean? Queen Shannon, as being a healer, I'm always running into heartbroken people. Yes, the reason for that is your light not only attracts other light beings like most of us here, but it also attracts, it's like a moth to a flame, the darkest entities. Because everyone loves light, even the dark, you see. Cassie, love damage people from afar. Precisely right. Incapable of hate. How can you? Because to hate somebody, you have to hate yourself first. See, Spirit 333, I love that name. Knowing who I am now, I remove myself from the word protection. I know it can't last forever. Exactly. It won't last forever because it's hermit mode to push you to that 333 energy that you are representing. Yes, Vita. Elizabeth Jamie Elizabeth, how do you avoid Stockholm Syndrome? I feel compassion because I see people's stories. It's really to know the difference between what's yours and what's not yours, and what's a projection and what is organic to you. And know that empaths have very highly active mirror neurons, which is why we feel people the way we do. So it's about being able to tell what's yours and what's not yours. Hate the behavior, love the person, Cassie. That's right. Denise, I'm always told I need to be by myself, but they won't leave me alone, but tell me I'm too much. So that's that gaslighting business. I mean, what kind of gaslighting business is this, Denise? This is all it is. You're just being gaslit. And sorry, sometimes I'm too honest, but this is the way it works. And thank you for the roast, Jamie Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. I really do. Push and pull game. Exactly. User 2772. You're exactly right. That's really sweet of you, Jamie Elizabeth. I really like that. So are there any other questions as we wind down this chat? Anyone want to chime in? Fire, I see you're in there. I'm Fire Phoenix. Fire Phoenix, we figured it out. So speak. What's on your mind?
So I just want to, maybe I should take my phone away from my mouth, but I want to let you know that I woke up maybe in 2018, but because I'm a scientist, I like to figure things out. So I had to test the waters to find out the people in my lives were narcissists. So there was a little, and believe me, I still love these people, but I love them from a distance. And if we get together, it is totally my show. When they start acting up, then it's time for me to leave or to go on to something else. Because I have woken up, I know how to treat it now, and I understand what the energy is and why they need the energy. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. They need that energy from you, and they will always be around people that they can draw that energy from. But once you wake up to it, you wake up to everything around you and all the people around you, your family members, past and present, and you can feed into that energy. But we have to go through a process of pain, of suffering, to figure it out, to figure out what God is trying to say to us. And maybe we can talk next time when you come on, sir.
Yeah, I absolutely. I'll be back on later this week, but just listening to you, Fire Phoenix, I can tell you are a warrior of light. So keep shining your light. Sorry for your pain.
You as well.
Thank you.
And I want to send love and light out to all your audience and let them know that they can make it through. And that's the reason why there's no coincidence that they showed up on this page. Everything is in synchronicity. Everything is going to be done in the way the Lord wants it done. The universe, whoever it is that you pray to and believe in,
that's right.
It's going to be done, but it's going to be done on your part. For you. Everything is happening for you and not to you. Exactly. And that's all I want to say. Thank you. Have a great day.
One love. Peace. That was beautiful. Let's see if we can have one more before we go. High Praise Wellness. I don't know if you can join us. Are you there? Joining. High Praise Wellness. How you doing?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. What's on your mind? How are you feeling?
Okay, great. I just wanted to thank you, first of all, for creating this platform. I was once in the situation and being a social scientist myself, and I would not recommend this, but I stayed in a situation to understand what the heck happened to me, you know, and I did want to understand it or understand it. And so I want to encourage those of you who are still in the situation, you're not out of it, but you can unpack while you're in it. And I became very quiet when I realized I had made a decision and married a narc or a person that was, you know, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it was a 7-year ordeal of going back and forth, 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 like 10 times, promise you. And what I realized on the other side of it was that I was married to someone that was not for me, that was the quote unquote narcissist. And what I wanted to encourage those of you that are still in it, you can free your mind while you are sleeping next to the narcissist. Right. You can free your mind. You don't have to be in a situation where you're exactly out of it. Maybe you're not out of the situation physically yet. And so that was me. And because I woke up in the middle of being in it, and it happened to me twice. I woke up when I was in a religious situation, a cult-like situation, and woke up in the middle in 2012, like, oh my God, I'm in a cult, you know? And then that happened the same thing when I married this narcissist. Oh my God, I married a narc. Wow. And I say this to say, you can be inside of it and start unpacking until you actually leave to get the true freedom. But you can start, because I used to sneak and listen to people like you, sir, One Love. And I listened and I was like, wow, I'm in a, you know, and like completely freaked out, but I was silent about it. I didn't start going off and went back in the house and go off on him and say, oh my God, you're not. No, I was very quiet and I just started watching and I started listening and I started journaling and I started getting free in the midst of being married to a narcissist. So I wanted to encourage those of you who are in the midst of being with these people, start to free yourself. And when you're strong enough to actually walk out the door, because the reason why I went back and forth was because people helped me out. And when it was time for me to make a decision whether or not I wanted to go back, it's because the person helped me where I didn't help myself. But it was only when I was by myself and didn't have no help and didn't have any support that I was strong enough to leave and never go back. So I wanted to encourage those of you. And thank you, Inner Knowledge, One Love. One love, we one love. We are rising. And yes, it is a hunt. Yeah. And I'm grateful you use the word initiation. Because, I've been initiated into greatness. I've been initiated into light. And on the other side of this, speaking to all of those who are still in it, there is greatness on the other side. And you, do the work. You can do the work while you're still in there. Get quiet, sis. Get quiet, brother. Wow. All my purple-hearted brothers and sisters out there, get quiet and get yourself and rise out of there. Rise. Wow. You know. Thank you.
I thank your name says it all. High praise, Modest, and I just want to thank you for your loving energy. I can feel it in your voice. I can feel the depth of what you've experienced. I can hear it in your soul. And I just want to send you positive energy and light wherever you are. And thank you for being a warrior of light. Thank you. Thank you. All right, maybe we'll take one more before calling it a day. I don't know if anyone wants to join. Let's see. Invite a couple of people, but I really appreciate you all tuning in. This is all about lifting each other up. So this is the message, right? There's a bunch of questions. Quiet as a mouse, exactly. Take your own side. That's right. No contact is the way to go. Boundaries, that's right. Journaling, exactly right. Right. This is the story. So we are on the path, and it doesn't matter what the path looks like now. That remaining on it is the key. That you just keep going, and you just keep going, and you just keep going, and one day you just get to a point where you're like, "How did I get here? How did this happen?" Spirit 333, you might be our last guest. Just chime in. What's on your mind? How are you feeling?
Hello, Grand Awakening.
Grand Awakening. Yes.
I resonate with your last guest so much. Mine was a 20-year.
Wow.
20-year marriage, and ended basically the same type of way where I had to sneak to get away. You know, I had to be as quiet, and I'm talking journal, prayer, everything possible to get away. And I managed to do so. And the funny thing is, you don't know you're in that type of relationship to the extent
Mm-hmm.
and you're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see everything.
Wow.
I didn't know I was being taken for granted that way. I had no idea. I'm just a giver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you give and you think, you know, they're gonna, reciprocate
Mm-hmm.
and give it back,
Mm-hmm.
and you never get it. Just broken promises. And so anyone that's going through it,
Oh, you're on mute now, Spirit 333. There you go.
you give it to the Most High, you know, and don't stop, don't give up, don't let up. Realize what you're in. And a lot of people haven't woken up yet, and that's
right.
part of the problem, because people are still asleep.
Exactly.
You know, when you're still asleep, you don't know you're in it.
You don't.
There's hope on the other side.
So how did you get through your challenge? Just for the listeners, how did you get through it, Spirit 333? And how did you connect to this 333 energy, if I may ask?
That was given to me by the Most High one day in prayer. Something happened spectacular that I can't even really explain it all. It was sunshine outside, and I was praying. I was in the house praying, and all of a sudden, clouds started rolling in, and it was just weird. And I said, God, are you talking to me? Because of what I was praying about. I said, are you talking to me? And I looked at the clock, and it said 333. So, and at that time, I had just started getting into synchronicities. I really wasn't aware of too many of them. This is back in 2020 actually. Yeah. But I started waking up in 2017. Wow. Anyway, moving forward, and so I'm questioning him. I'm asking for guidance and answers, and who am I? And I had just found my biological father when I was like 47 years old. So it was like a lot coming into my life at that time. And so I just wanted to know who I was, what was I here for? Wow. And the message I got from him was that I was safe. No matter what I did, I was safe, and he had my back just to act on what he was going to show me. And that's when he showed me, and that's when I realized I was in the situation I was in. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, my first thing was getting out of the house with him. That was my first thing. When I tell you there was a lot of strategic energy to get me out of there, it happened though. And I was amazed. It took me 6 weeks to get out. Yeah. We're talking 20 years with this person. It took me 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I've been divorced twice and similar story. So you're speaking the truth. This is pain. Great pain will wake you up to this, and it takes a while to get used to it. And I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for just sharing your spirit and your energy. And I send you lots of feelings. And I'm saying this for me too. Lots of feelings of abundance and joy and happiness.
Thank you. And I send the same right back to you.
Received. I share. You said it. You said it.
Yes, I did.
All right. Peace and light. Thank you so much. All right. So, folks, this is the story, right? Let's see a few comments. Peace and love, absolute abundance. Exactly. You know, my mother was very narcissistic as well, Cassie. So was mine. That's exactly right. We all have gone through similar stories of suffering. So you realize that this is proof that we are crossing over to the other shore. And although it may not feel real to a number of us, know that this is real. And understand why this is happening in these times. Why me? Why now? Not who am I and why me, but why now? What more you, less me? What is my job here, right? What is my job here? So this is really the story. I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your day for this communion, this sharing, this cipher. We are waking up indeed, Cassie. You're absolutely right. And bless one, they'll hate on you because you are loved. That's why. And Creamy Way helps me because we're helping each other. So I'll end by saying, I wish you peace and light. Keep soaring, keep healing, keep overcoming yourself. And there'll be another live later this week, maybe Thursday or Friday. So stay tuned and be happy. Keep healing and keep ascending. And if we can be of help, you know where to find me, innermileage.com or my site, or just send me a message at nana@innermileage.com. There's no one like you. And yes, we can talk about gang stalkers one day. Thank you so much. Peace, folks. Peace, 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 peace.